Okay, right, we're going to get started. Thank you very much for attending. This is the Year 5 Parents Meet and Greet. So we do appreciate that you've stayed. It will give you a chance to meet the Year 5 team. Just so while we're doing the meeting, we are recording. So if you have mobile phones on silent, and if you need to take a phone call, go outside. Okay? So.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Year 5 Meet and Greet. I thought I'd just start by introducing the team. Obviously, unfortunately, Mr. Barco couldn't make it today. Obviously, you know Mr. Barco. This is our phase lead. He is sort of in overall charge of Year 5 and Year 6. And
I'm Miss Hassan. Hello, everybody. I'm 5E's class teacher, but I'm also the read lead at Keir Hardie.
Hello, my name is Miss Peppy. I work with SCMB and also supporting classwork. Hello, I'm Miss Kochnak. I'm supporting Mr. Newlands in 5I. I've been working with some of the children in Year 2 when they were in Year 2 actually.
Hey, my name is Miss Freeman. I'm the supervisor, but I am new to Miss Andrews. I'm in her class with us today as well.
And my name is Mr. Newland. I am the teacher for 5I, and also some of us know each other already. So, welcome. Oh, thank you.
Okay, so just to start the meeting off with our school expectations and our year group expectations. It's changed a little bit from Year 4 to Year 5. We start at 8:30, so punctuality is crucial for us. At 8:25, you'll see our team down at the lines, making sure that our children are ready and welcomed into class, ready for learning at 8:30. It does mean that we all have to be prompt. If our children are late, we do tell them to come through the front office and notify the office before they enter, and then they are proceeding into lessons and so forth. Reading, as a reading lead, I am pleading to you all to make sure you are reading with your child once a week, but your child needs to read every single day for 20 minutes and then record in their books. They are responsible young people now. They're in Year 5, they need to be writing a comment or questions inside their book, and we check on a daily basis. This is to make them ready for Year 6, but also to make them lifelong learners. If they can read, they can access so many different things in the world, and it's vital for us to work with you all. If there is any hiccups or anything, please do let us know. If they couldn't read or if they were unable to change their books, we're always here to support your child. Attendance, it has to be 96%. Anything below that, you will have an attendance officer ringing you or making calls just to make sure that your child is attending school. Homework is given on a Friday and it's due in on a Wednesday. I will go through the procedures for homework because it's changed a little bit for Year 5 and 6. Reading is fun books, it's a reading record. I understand that it's very difficult to keep up with them sometimes, but please give the onus to your child. Let them look after it, let them take care of it and bring it into school every single day. We do read with the children at school, but you must also read with them at least once a week. PE has now changed to Thursday and Friday. This term we are working with a basketball coach, so we're quite privileged in school, and on Friday it will be us working with them on athletic skills, and all information will be shared on Class Dojo. We do not share homework on Class Dojo as previous year groups have done so. It goes on to classroom. So if Miss Waldo, you go to the next, I'll come back to classroom afterwards.
Okay. So I'm just going to talk about safeguarding in school. Now, obviously in school, senior leaders have a duty to keep their children safe, and we are the safeguarding team, but every member of staff in school has that responsibility. So it's also really important that it's part of our curriculum. So e-safety, PSHE, we teach the children about how to be safe and responsible. So it's everybody's responsibility in school. So please don't be upset sometimes if staff members ask you something. It's professional curiosity. We might notice your child's tired, they're sleeping. You might go, what time did you go to bed last night? We're not trying to be rude, we're not trying to invade your privacy. We're just trying to make sure that we have the right places, systems and support. Equally, the safeguarding team in school have a legal responsibility to share information. So sometimes we share information with the police, social care, health services. And if a child raises a concern, we do have a responsibility to sometimes pass on information. Now, the reason we put this into our presentation this year is when we do occasionally make a referral, it can be quite tricky for the staff members, but also for you as parents. We just want you to understand that whenever we are doing our safeguarding duty, our care is for your child. So there might be sometimes decisions that we have to make for their safety. And all we're asking is for you to understand that it's not personal. We're doing it with your child's best interests, just to sometimes give you support. Sometimes parents can take it really difficultly when we have to make referrals. Okay, it's just in your child's best interest. Equally, sometimes we might talk to you about what they're watching online, what they're gaming, what they're viewing. Children are really savvy when it comes to things online that sometimes as adults we don't know. So just bear with us. Sometimes we have to have difficult conversations, but it's just about keeping you and your children safe. Okay? But equally, the team, if you have anything that you're not sure of or you need help, just gives you a few faces of people who might know where to support you. So it could be housing, it could be you need help with your finances, you might need navigating services, because unfortunately, you don't always get the answers you need in Newham, you don't need someone else to help you. So this is the safeguarding team. Your main point of call would be generally Mr. Barco, but I'm the main person who deals with safeguarding in school. Okay?
So that brings us nicely into online safety. Now, this obviously is a really important thing throughout school, but it's also something that we need to sort of take responsibility for at home as well. In school, we have some really robust systems in place. For example, when the students are using the laptops, everything they do is monitored. So even if the child starts to type something on a Word document, an instant notification is sent to the designated safeguarding lead and all of the safeguarding officers, and they will then respond to that if they need to. A lot of the time we get sort of false positives, so it's nothing to worry about. But if a child does something online in school, it's monitored and it's taken care of immediately. Obviously, at home, it can be much more difficult to monitor. So we sort of try to follow the SMART guidance, which is obviously sharing responsibly. So obviously, requiring children to be careful what they share, talking about what they're sharing with and who they're sharing it with. Managing privacy, so not communicating, any sort of personal details and things like that. Asking for help if they need help, making sure that you're sort of there for them to kind of listen to them. Respecting others online, being respectful, being kind, and thinking critically, trusting your instincts. Does that person, do they really know each other? Who are they talking to online? Has something really happened? And asking questions. I think it's something that's online safety is something that keeps coming up again and again and again in school, particularly as the children move up into upper key stage 2, into year 5 and year 6. We tend to start seeing much more of the children engaging in online chats, in chat rooms, on games and things like that. And we need to encourage parents to be really, really vigilant, and obviously you as parents need to make sure you know what your child is online and what they are looking at online and who they are talking to online. So I would recommend, if you don't have it already, have some kind of monitoring system in place. Ask to see your child's phone. If your child has a phone and they've got messaging and things like that, you should be monitoring it, and you should be having a look at those devices and seeing what they're doing online. They shouldn't be left on their own with devices for long periods of time. They should always be monitored.
Just that if you don't know how to change your internet settings and make them secure, let us know. We can share information in providers. Also, change passwords on your mobile phone devices, because the number of times your phone might be set up a certain way and they can access and they can see things. So we've had children in other year groups, on their phone, oh, my mum's on Tinder to talk about e-safety. They can click on things. So be really careful, be mindful. Yeah. Make sure it's secure. Change your passwords regularly, because the children, you think they don't know, but they do. And it's just really important. So be really mindful.
Sorry, just to add to that, it has come into the school where it doesn't have to be just phones, it can be iPads, it can be a device that they have got. Snapchats, Instagram, all of those, they're 13 plus. At the age of 10, they are responsible for their interactions. So there has been an instance in the past, oh, I'm not part of it. It turns out they're part of WhatsApp groups. So if the child has got a device, well, iPad, and they can access the WhatsApp groups there, they are reliable, they are responsible for the actions, and it will be the school who contacts yourself to say, this is what's happened, please speak to your child before it gets out of hand and out of the school's responsibility areas.
It's scary how things can set up. WhatsApp groups we had a couple of years ago where other children and young adults in the local community were making WhatsApp groups with hundreds and hundreds of other children in, and the children would be content was being shared, and it was really dangerous. You know, and I think that's one of the things as well with the teeth, think critically and trust. You also need to be careful of AI and the use of AI and images, being mindful of what the children are sharing. We have to teach the children that what you put online stays there forever. It's your digital footprint. So we have to be really mindful, and we have to model that as adults. Right?
So, talking about the British values and protected characteristics in school, part of our PSHE curriculum is to teach our children how to be global citizens. As a global citizen, we need to be respectful, making sure we're following the rule of law, having our voices heard, and one of the ways we've started is having school counsellor conversations. Mutual respect. We are all different, and we value each other's opinions, and we speak respectfully, and we treat each other with respect. That goes for adults, and that goes for us as role models. That goes for you and everyone who we serve in our community as well. So we've got our protected characteristics. Please do talk to your children about these. It's about sex, sexual orientation, age, disability, gender reassignment, marriage and civil partnership, pregnancy, maternity, race and religion and belief. If your child comes home and says, oh, mum or dad, I have spoken about this, talk to them, engage in that discussion so they feel like they've been heard. It is something that we value in our school as the right to respect school and of rights of a child. They should be heard about what they value as well. And talk to them about the British values, because we are British citizens here, learning about them as well.
So this is sort of an overview of the curriculum. So our core subjects, obviously we talked about being in school at 8:30. 8:30 we start with basic skills. So that's one of the reasons why it's so important to have your child on time every day, because as soon as they enter that classroom, they will be starting their core learning for their day. Okay, so core learning starts with basic skills. We have 15 minutes of basic skills, we have 15 minutes of reading for pleasure, and then we go straight into our reading comprehension lessons, and then we've got our English writing lessons after that for an hour, and then they have their break time. We do an hour of maths. So all of these subjects are done in the morning, daily, before lunch. Science is also a core subject. It's taught for 2 hours a week, usually on a Wednesday morning. So on that day, some of the English and maths will be changed to the afternoon. Every week they will have 2 PE sessions, as discussed on Thursday and Friday. They will receive some religious education, and they will do some PSHE, so personal, social, health and economic education. Everybody else thinks that E is education, it's economic, so it's talking about finances and things like that. And then every half term, the foundation subjects, they swap over. So this, for example, this half term, we will be studying history, art and design, and computing. So next half term, they will do geography, design, technology, and music. So those 6 subjects swap over, and they're half term. So one half term they'll be doing history, the next half term they'll be doing geography. In addition to that, we also do one for our languages, so they get 45 minutes every week of Spanish, and opportunities elsewhere to do drama. We have mindfulness assemblies on a rotation every 3 weeks. We do collective worship, where we talk about sort of big questions that affect different people's lives, and we get to discuss the British values that we obviously touched on before. So that's essentially a very kind of brief overview of the curriculum.
I think as well, it's really important for you guys in year 5 to remember this year has a lot of rigour behind it, a lot of energy behind the teaching in year 5, because we need to make sure we've got through a lot of the curriculum so that when they're in year 6, which sounds like a whole year away, but it's quite soon.
It's very quick.
Okay, it's very quick. Year 6 is about going over not lots of new learning, reteaching and revising their whole Key Stage 2 curriculum. So attendance, punctuality and being in school is so important in year 5 with your curriculum.
Yeah.
It is a step up from year 4, but there's a lot of learning, but it's a big step getting them year 6 ready.
Yeah.
And it's so important.
And both myself and Miss Hassan have both taught in year 6, and I know that most of the team have been in year 6 at some point. And I can tell you, if you do everything that you need to do in year 5, year 6 becomes not easy. It will never be easy, but it will become much more straightforward for the child and for you as a parent as well. So I think, just to reiterate, 8:30 punctuality and these basic skills is really important, and making sure when homework goes home that it is done, and it's done on time, and it's done to a really high standard as well.
Just set the children up.
So touching upon our learning journeys and what we deliver as a curriculum, at school we have this learning journey that we always follow for history, geography, whether it's RE, PSHE. We always start with the knowledge that they already know. The children do start with the knowledge from their prior years they've studied these skills in, and then they will go into essentials of vocabulary, learning new vocabulary, and then exploring. For history this term, we're learning about the Tudor England. We'd love some volunteers to come along to our workshop on Monday. It's Tudor England, and it's all fun and dressing up, so it's quite nice to get interactive and get exploring with the children. Linda, I see you there. But it's nice to have the parents involved in these workshops, because the children come out and they love to learn with the hands-on activities. So that would be quite nice if you could join us. Please let our staff members know. And after that, we do send research home. Now, these are projects that we do say for them to do over the half term. It's not a project that they can take on lightly. It has to be planned out. And we take so much pride in it that we share it around the school. I know we've had Earth and Space, where they've created solar systems. They've had RE, place of worship, programs and competitions that they've had to be partaking in. So please do get involved at home, and then we assess their learning and respond, and the whole cycle starts again. We're quite proud of our learning journey, because when you ask the children about a subject, they don't know just the basics of a topic, they go in deeper, and that's what we're trying to instill into our children today.
So, pupil expectations. So each class in the school will have produced a class charter. It's something that the children develop themselves as expectations for them throughout the day, throughout the year, and it's something that they have to stick to. It's something that they agree to and they sign, and it's up in each classroom. So this is sort of something similar that the school have created for the children as a kind of well, it's a set of rules that they all must follow, essentially. So taking part and trying your hardest in all school activities, being helpful and polite, making sure you follow the school rules, doing the class charter, being at school every day and being on time, completing and returning all homework every week, making sure everybody's in the correct uniform and in PE uniform on the correct day, using the 5 Bs. Do we all know the 5 Bs?
The boards, buddies, brain,
Brain?
buddies.
No, brain, buddy, board,
Yep.
boss.
There you go.
And I'm
Comes
boss.
last. We're last. Okay, come last.
And then share any problems with teacher or any of the 5 plus as well. So all the children will have, at the start of the year, we talk as a class about who our trusted adults are in school and out of school. And if the child has any problems, to come to one of those trusted adults. If they can't solve the problem themselves, which we'd always encourage them to do, they come to one of their trusted adults and make sure that they're talking about school positively and then showing, obviously, their magic habits every day. So.
Okay, so Ms. Chowdhury and I are here to talk about attendance. So we do have a big drive at attendance. Minimum of 96% is what we aim for, okay? Attendance and performance of children are so interlinked, okay? So over the school year, we really are looking, we'd love 100% attendance. Ms. Chowdhury will be so excited with all the children at the end of the year, but 96% attendance or above is where we're aiming for. If a child has 96%, that's 8 school days of the year. However, as we decrease our attendance, it's a massive issue of attainment. If you, especially in year 5, you miss days of learning, it's harder to catch up. The curriculum moves fast. So obviously, me and Mr. Chowdhury, for about 95% start monitoring, start just sending out letters. If you get to 90% or below, we start inviting you in for meetings. We're very hot on attendance, not just our school, it's a government initiative, okay? You just need to make sure your school child is in school and on time. There will be times your child's sick. If you can, get medical evidence. I appreciate getting a doctor's appointment. It's tricky, so even the screenshot of trying to, on your underlying GP app, okay? I know it's tricky. If you do manage to get medication and the child is well enough to come to school, just bring your prescription label on your medication. That's medical evidence, okay? We just have systems that we have to follow as our duty of care, okay? It's part of safeguarding. But equally, if your attendance drops below a certain percentage, you can be fined for poor attendance. I can make referrals to social care for poor attendance. Poor attendance is equal to neglect. Okay, we don't want to do that. We like working with you, but it's just really important. Equally as well, term time holidays. If you take unauthorised absences in term time, you will be fined, and it's per parent. Okay, it's really strict on it, and it's just we have to follow the government guidance. Anything you want to add, Ms. Chowdhury?
As a 3-year-old student, so if you get fined this year and go the second time, it goes double, the third time goes straight to institution, and that could affect your DBS and then criminal record because it fails to protect your child to be on education.
It's just a really serious thing. But hopefully we get to that. We know it's really important, but me and Ms. Chowdhury will work here, we'll work with you. It's just,
Yeah, and that's why you get letters. But currently, the child attendance is below 95%. You do get half term a letter. I know on the letter it often does say that he's providing medical evidence. You won't be invited for a meeting, but those letters are purely for your knowledge to know what the attendance is. Because sometimes parents might not realize that the child had a week and a half off, but that's affected. Although you provide medical evidence, your attendance still will be low by the difference is authorized or unauthorized.
equally lateness. What time is it? 9:15?
So for year 5,
Year
they
5.
should be in by 8:45. They
Yeah.
come in at 9 o'clock. It's marked as due, and that becomes an unauthorized absence as well. And if you get 10 of those, then that's also a fine.
Okay, so reading expectations, I'm not going to go over it again and again, but just to say that reading for pleasure, please instill that love for reading into your child. Making sure that they are able to access text. If you haven't got books at home, please come visit our library on a Wednesday, I believe, for parents and children to come up after school, visit the library. We are very lucky in Newham to have a communal library and also be connected to Newham library. Making sure that they read for 20 minutes at home, and they all have comprehension questions. If you look at their reading homework, they have comprehension questions on the page below, so page 2 and 3 for comprehension, as well as reading 20 minutes. This is to make them independent readers. When it comes to the SATs, the papers are 2 or 3 pages long, and we want them to be able to read and evaluate and question and be able to answer and respond to the text. Okay. Ms. Will?
Yeah, I just think, as well, checking your child can read fluently, 100 words per minute. Just honestly, reading's a life skill, and if you can read, it opens up the doors to the whole curriculum. and also learning in general.
If
So
they
yeah.
can read, they can write. If they can write really well, they can have lots of access to Scholars Program, which runs in Year 5. We have lots of events and essays that they can write with the Scholars Program. Essentially, if they can equip themselves, then they can read the 12 books that we are also highlighting and promoting. This can be found in our library. So ask your child, have you read a book this term? If you haven't read a book this term, you need to pick up a book, go to the library, the school library, and ask for a book. There's recommendations here for some of our readers. I've got to say that Year 5 have started on a really good note. They bring their books to school every day. We just need to make sure that they are fluent readers by the end of the year. So it's a really good hopeful start for us. So our magic habits, we pride ourselves with magic habits, starts with motivation. This year we are working on understanding what these key concepts mean. So motivation, what am I doing? If I am feeling really tired, what am I doing to wake myself up? Yes, I have got parents who can tell me, come to school on time, but am I coming to school with a smile on my face? It makes a big difference for them to see they're positive, which then goes to having a positive attitude and gumption. I can't do it, it's not accepted in Year 5. I will try, I will have a go, is accepted. Please try and instill that at home as well. If they say, I can't do the maths homework, it does get trickier, well, have a go at this question. Come back to that question afterwards. That's gumption. That is then being resilient and resourceful for themselves. I know that sometimes we get a bit stuck. What do? We don't give up easily. What do? We stop, we pause, we reflect, and we move on. That's what we need to try and show and role model for the children as well. We can move on to the next one. Independence and communication. So this week we are working on having lots of independent activities, make sure the children are ready. If they do need help, they ask the 5Bs or 4Bs before they come to us. Again, it's talking about them not being reliant on the adult or being reliant at home to yourself, but taking ownership of their own learning and being able to communicate effectively. In our classroom, we've got lots of different needs. Some children do speak, some children are very tipped up in their little shells, so we say to them, if you need help, please raise your hand. Don't go home and say, I didn't understand today, I don't know what to do, and therefore I'm stuck now, because then that will start another cycle. So if they need help, just get them to say, nudge them and say, come on, you need to go and ask for yourself. Just say, Miss Hassan, I don't know what's happening, I don't know the question, can you please help me? There's a team of us, so we're more than happy to help. I know we always pull children out and just be like, right, this is how you do it, go. And that's all they need a quick nudge and they're off. Okay.
Right, so behaviour expectations, at Keir Hardie, obviously we try to praise effort, not necessarily always like achievement. As long as a child is making effort and making a really good effort, that will always be praised. Using the language of choice, giving the child options if they're dysregulating or something's not quite right, giving them options of how to move forward. We have the zones of regulation, so if a child is feeling a certain way, it can communicate that to us. In Keir Hardie we use a tracking sheet, so we have like a 5-stage sort of process. Stage 1 being sort of warning, stage 2 being in-class reflection, stage 3 they go to the next class for reflection, stage 4 they have their lunchtime reflection with us senior leadership, and if they get to stage 5 there will probably be a meeting with yourselves and a learning mentor, and then sort of time out of class as well, to sort of reset and restart. That is all tracked online digitally, so all of the staff members can see it, particularly senior leadership, and if it gets to a certain stage, it will be picked up very, very quickly. And obviously I've mentioned reflection before. The reflection isn't just kind of, or it shouldn't be just sat staring at a wall. They should sort of be thinking about what went wrong, how they feel about it, what they'll do better next time. And we make sure that there's lots of rewards and celebration. We have magic awards, star of the week. We have reading heroes, and I was thinking about the lunchtime thing. Golden table, so a child who's achieved something that week can go sit and have a nice dinner with all the other children on the golden table, plus the senior leader, and get that sort of praise and attention that they deserve. And we just like to make sure that everybody is ready to learn. So obviously everybody's listening, and making sure if there's somebody speaking, the children are paying attention, they're not fidgeting, they're sat still, they are actually actively listening, and that's an expectation that everybody does that within the lessons. And yeah.
So in terms of zones of regulation, I know some of you attended the parents meeting that Dr. Ferguson did last year about emotional regulation, understanding how a child is feeling and you're feeling. What we're trying to teach children is to understand that every emotion and feeling is okay, but you have strategies to help you get out of it. So when the child's angry, label it, but also teach them what might help you calm down, become more resilient. We're just trying to teach children to be more whole children, so they understand these feelings are normal, and everyone feels a certain way. Because I mean, some children think it's not okay to be upset, it's not okay to be angry. They get a lot of pressure on themselves. So we're just trying to teach children about how to be more resilient, and that really helps you learning if you're able to do that.
So school uniform, we've had a really, really positive start with school uniform this year, so that's been excellent. You can see on the images, this is kind of the uniform expectation for boys and girls. The girls, it's either a grey or black smock type thing, white shirt or white polo shirt, black tights and all black shoes. Similarly for the boys, blue jumper, white polo shirt, black trousers. Is it black or grey? We wear grey,
black or grey or navy.
Black or grey or navy, so dark, smart trousers, really. Not jogging bottoms. That's not part of the core school uniform. And all black shoes. Similarly, there's another option for girls, obviously, cardigan, black skirt, and black tights, black shoes. The shirt can either be a shirt or a polo shirt, but it must have a collar. For girls as well, if they do wear the hijab or a head covering, it's either navy, black, or white, and they're plain, and there shouldn't be any embellishment. So no diamond studs, no patterns, no decoration, no embroidery or anything like that. PE kits, they're all in house colours, so either blue, red, yellow, or green. They all will. You guys will already know which house they're in. They need to wear appropriate footwear. So obviously PE, they're going to be running around, they're going to be moving, they need to have appropriate footwear for that. So trainers, plimsolls.
Not bright colours that are like orange and pink.
Yeah. So it's not like, Cristiano Ronaldo's latest trainers. It's just plain black trainers. No jewellery at all. So earrings, necklaces. I mean, they should be in school anyway. But no jewellery on at all. It's not safe. Hair tied up as well to make sure it's out of the way. No earrings, and roll-on deodorant, because they are now getting to an age where they do need it. And as Miss Woodall said in my classroom the other day,
yes,
goodness me, it smells in here. It was after a PE lesson.
It was after a PE lesson, but there was also another moment I have walked into year 5. They are getting older, but I have spicy senses, but it was eye-watering.
And I've been in the classroom too long. I couldn't smell it.
Mr. Nils was nose blind. I really wasn't.
Miss Woodall came in.
And it wasn't my class.
However, it's really important that you are talking about hygiene. The children are growing. Children start going through puberty earlier. I think as parents, we need to not be uncomfortable to have those conversations. So making sure they're properly washing. If you've got a daughter, some of them may start to go through puberty and begin. So it's really important that we are teaching them hygiene, because we don't want children to smell. You don't want someone to go, oh, I'm not smelling great. So just have that conversation, be open, be honest, because, it's something that we don't want as adults, we don't want it for our children. So
it is part of our PSHE curriculum, but we do teach RSHE and PSHE about health and hygiene, and it is about well-being, making sure you're ready, prepared, and that comes with showering and being able to effectively look after yourself in a world that you're moving in. So being active.
And in terms of keeping everyone hygienic and stuff like that, obviously PE will be 2 days in a row, so it's probably a good idea to have 2 t-shirts and roll-on deodorant, just to make sure everybody's leaving to smelling for the next day. All right.
Okay, so we spoke about homework. Homework is going over the learning that we've done that week. Basic skills, we've noticed that spellings, please go over the year 3 and year 4 spellings, and then year 5 and year 6 spellings. We do spelling challenges, it's house challenges on Wednesday, and at the moment Sapphire's winning, so I would like to keep promoting Sapphire children, keep promoting your children to spell and regularly do spelling tests at home. We do hold spelling tests on Friday in our English lessons. We use our homework sessions to embed, consolidate our learning with research topics where they can have more fun activities. And homework does include maths, English, sometimes science, as well as grammar, spelling, and comprehension. With research projects half-termly given out, and it's given out on Wednesday. Sorry, it's given out on Friday, and it's due back on Wednesday. And on Thursday we go through it. First time they don't bring in their homework, we'll let them off and we'll let them do the homework during lesson time, or in a lunchtime in class. Second time it's reflection. Third time you will be getting a notification or a letter to say so and so has not reported their homework. Please encourage them to do their homework, or we have got homework club coming up. Okay. I understand there's lots of clubs going on, but homework should take precedence over any other clubs that they are part of. And yeah, Miss Freeman is part of the homework club, and I'd like to say it's not, oh, they've done this homework this week, they don't have to go to homework club next week. If they enroll, they stay enrolled for the whole term. Okay?
I think it's really important to remember that the year 5 maths curriculum can be very challenging. It's not how we were taught maths. What's in the year 5 maths curriculum would have been GCSE maths back in the day. Okay, so there's lots of things in it, so it can be a challenge. Just if you're not sure, be open with the teachers, because we can signpost to things as well to help you. But yeah,
but the books that we've got, they're really, really good and helpful, because they've got a vocabulary sheet at the front, and chances are your child is more equipped than they're letting on. So they have done this activity in class, they can do it. If there's a question they don't know, circle it, come back to us, or let us know on Class Dojo. We're really good communicators, so we should be able to answer you efficiently and effectively in time. Please don't leave it so then they don't get the homework done. That is not an option, and I'm saying that as a class teacher's point of view. I won't accept the fact that they haven't done the homework because they can't do it. We don't have any cards, okay? We have to do it. We have to try something.
I think on the subject of maths homework as well, the maths homework will always reflect the learning that they've done that week. So it's really important to know that. So just to reiterate what Ms. Hassan said, they will have a reasonably good understanding. So they need to make sure that they're making the effort to sort of retain that knowledge and bring it back.
So homework is not given on Class Dojo, it is given on Classroom. So if you haven't signed on to Class Dojo, I think we do have 100% on Class Dojo. Just join us and then you can find out information. But Classroom is where the homework will be. It is all online. They do have a purple book to record their homework. But we do say if there's an activity that they can do online, so for instance, if there's a grammar or a spelling activity, they can do it online, but they have to hand it in so that we can check it online as well. It is to get them ready for secondary school. Secondary schools do not do all manual handwriting activities. They do go online a lot more. So getting them computer savvy, using the keyboards and getting them to be able to communicate effectively. There is a chat space. We do close the chat space. If there is a reason for us to get the children interactive online, it will be a space that they have to be responsible for, because Mr. Ochiero is on there, senior leadership team on there, and any comments that are made that are inappropriate, it will get flagged, and then we will speak to the children about stages that they need to have in reflection.
So similarly to the pupil expectations, obviously there's certain expectations of staff members, and that includes all staff members. So obviously, this is something that's not just that we are contractually have to abide by, but sort of legally as well. So obviously, preparing exciting, appropriately pitched lessons and providing a stimulating and particularly a safe environment for your children to learn. Helping your child to understand what they're learning. That's what we're all here to do. Giving rewards and praise and attention to those who are helpful, providing a range of homework to support your child's learning. Teaching tolerance and acceptance in accordance with British values is something that we really pride ourselves on. Communicating with you about your child's progress. So obviously there will be regular parents meetings and progress reports sent home about your child's attainment, but also if there are any concerns about behaviour and stuff like that, we will communicate with you. Obviously being role models, so basically showing the children how to behave and how to be, and making sure fundamentally, making sure that your child is safe and to safeguard your child by following the school policy. And that sort of feeds into the parent care expectations. Obviously, kind of what we would expect from you. So obviously the children have expectations, we have expectations, so you must have expectations as well. Obviously encouraging your child to do their best at all times, which I'm sure you all do. Encouraging them to be positive and polite, and encouraging them to behave well at school. If they don't behave well, they don't learn as well. So if behaviour is an issue, their learning becomes an issue. Ensuring your child attends. If they're not here, they can't learn. So they need to be here, and they need to be here on time. Ensure they're doing their homework. Their homework is always something linked to their curriculum. It underpins what we do at school, and it helps them retain that information. So it's really important. Ensuring your child wears the school uniform. The uniform sets the expectation and sets the tone. So it's really important that they do adhere to that uniform. Encouraging your child to have a go, so that gumption, that making sure that they actually do don't have that kind of immediate attitude of, oh, I can't do this. It's actually having a go. Providing my child with experiences that support their learning outside of schools. Now, this is something that I am really passionate about. Making sure that, it doesn't have to be all the time, but, occasionally you go to the Museum of London, the Maritime Museum, the Tate, wherever. All these places are all free. Children travel free on public transport. So, take a picnic. It's a cheap day out. It'll be something fun. It'll be something interesting for you and your children to do. Discuss any concerns with the class teacher. If there's anything that you feel like it is something's the matter, or you need to talk to us about something, trust me, we've heard it all before. Don't be shy. Come and speak to us. Okay. And then teaching your child how to be tolerant and accepting of differences reflected in our school's diversity. Obviously, we are in a really, really diverse community, and it's really, really important that we are not only diverse but cohesive. So making sure that we're teaching that tolerance and acceptance of difference.
Yeah, I just want to also add on, one of my biggest expectations of parents is obviously the adults in school work really hard for your children, and one of the things that I'm really passionate about is that we don't get it right all the time. So I think it's really important that if something doesn't go right, how you interact with the school team is really important. So if it doesn't go right, please be mindful how you speak to staff. We don't like it, we have to step in, be polite, be courteous, try and resolve the problem. Now, equally as well, sometimes if a problem happens, your first instinct might be, I need to speak to Mr. Barclay, I need to speak to Miss Ottier now. That's not how we work in school. So obviously, if something does go wrong, and sometimes it does, that's just life, try and resolve it with the class teacher first, just as their first point of call. If you're not quite happy with how it's been resolved, you would speak to the learning mentor attached to your year group, which is Mr. Critchlow. If then it's not resolved, then it goes further. Often, any little issues we have can be resolved very early on. But I think being mindful of how we communicate with staff, because obviously the staff members are here for your children, and they do deserve the courteousness, if that's not the right word, of being treated equally and also respectfully. We don't tolerate staff members being physically or verbally abused. Just please remember that.
So we communicate through face-to-face. Please make an appointment and or just message us on Class Dojo. In the morning, we're kind of getting ready to start the day with our children. It has everything affect on our children, not just one class, but it will be the second class as well. Class Dojo is a really good way of communicating with us. Year group, we would urge you to go onto the website, school website. There's a whole lot of information on there, especially with the curriculum overview, how pictures, photos to see the celebrations that we have. We do instantly post on things as well. So like termly newsletters, and newsletters have gone out. The autumn newsletter has gone out, so it will give you all the information and dates that you will need for this term, including parents' evenings, parent workshops that have been really successful last year in terms of reading, but we have the zones of regulation, but there's also other activities that you might want to include or participate in. And termly reports, they've come out termly for December, and then for spring, and then for summer as well. Yeah, just adding on to what everyone has said today, we're really excited to have a very interactive but successful year ahead. I know that the children have settled really well. Our team have spoken about highly about how the children have settled in. They're ready to go. They're really creative learners, and we'd love your support in making sure that they have the best time going on educational visits. So we've got the Sleep Temple that we're going to go to, World of Work at the Tate and Lyle Sugar Factory, where we have lots of higher people coming in and speaking to the children about the world of work. Bread workshop, and we're trying to get to the theatre. And I don't want to say it in front of Miss Woodall, but I'm trying to get Lion King for our children to go and watch again, which is going to be and the Imperial War Museum and the British Museum for our history curriculum as well. I know, but it's our year 5 curriculum.
Mr. Barker,
it is something we love to take part in and would love your support. So if there are any volunteers for any of these activities, especially the Lion King, you're more than welcome to let us know. And yeah, so we hope for a good year.
So we will send out some information on parent workshops and training, just so I've got an idea of what you would like, so to help you support. I know Dr. Ferguson was really popular last year, so we will be doing some more. But yeah, just let us know, we'll send a link out for you.
I know
Any
we've covered
questions?
a lot. If there's a burning question, you can ask now. If somebody pops into your head later on, send us a message on Dojo or come
The homework, I'm just double checking. So when you said they can do it online, that sheet, is it something that they can circle, or they can circle it on there and just
They can, yes, hand it in, but the maths is inside the maths book that Mr. Barker has. Please do take care of it. If they do lose it, they do not get another one, and that's the message from Mr. Barker as well, because he's
They're very expensive, it's a big investment.
I think with the spellings as well, it's really important to do it in the book and write it. They won't remember it.
That physicality of writing it down, saying
No,
it.
it's just, I know sometimes it's like a big long sentence, and you've got to circle it, I'll make you write it all out, but that just.
no,
There's
that,
some
and I
formula.
can imagine the children going, oh my gosh, I need to write
Yeah.
more. But actually doing it online might be helpful for the comprehension, where they're just circling the answers.
Or they might be doing a presentation or something like that. That can be done online, or with the slides.
Yes.
Well, the maths. Because there was a question that my son already
The child could then come in on that day, the next day, and ask one of us in first in class and say, listen, I'm struggling with this one, and not me or so one of us would take an out of it.
Just put a circle around the question at a number, come in and go, like, Miss Freeman, I don't get this question, or should Miss Freeman go through it?
And I'll take, you don't leave
I think
it
it's
until it has to
page
be handed
6
in.
for the maths, if I'm correct, it's the contextualising the real world. That's extension, so if they can apply it, brilliant, they're already a mathematician. If they can't apply it, that's okay, you just have a go. The chances are they've done page 4 and 5, which is the core part of the extension, something that we can look at it as extending the children's knowledge even further and deeper.
You were mentioning something about scholarship or something.
Yeah,
Can you
so-
just elaborate on that?
Yeah, of course. There's a scholars program. Only 14 children, unfortunately, are selected for this program. They do work in relation with a university, and they will work on a subject that the school or the university has chosen. It could be about science. Last year it was arts. This year it could be history. And it's a topic that they write a 1,000-word essay on. They go to this university and they learn about the university lifestyle, how the university is, and it's a really good way of promoting, making sure that they have enthusiasm for learning as well, and making sure they've got achievements that they'd like to hold dear to their hearts. And then, of course, we hold a graduation in school as well. This all takes place with a PhD tutor in school. So we invest a lot of money for the scholars program. 14 children, unfortunately, can't take the whole of year 5. I've tried to argue a lot. about this, but it is just to make sure.
What's
the
your
content-
selection criteria?
It does vary. It varies from the class teachers, and it does vary from, let's say, for instance, if a child shows interest in the subject. So I would not say, you know what, come and do dance if they're not interested in dance. And it does say first come, first serve, but Mr. Barker has the last say. I'll push it up to him for now. And if your child is part of that scheme or part of that program, then we will notify the parents and not. But there are other activities and competitions that we like to be part of as well. Thank you so very much.
Thank you all for coming.
So any comments, questions, ask the class teachers. Yeah, but thank you very much for staying and attending.